Hello everyone, this is Barcelona News World. The following are the headline we are going to discuss. Barcelona injury, suspension news versus Espanyol, Pau Cubarsí, Jules Count updates. Luis Suarez names the two Barcelona stars who are above the rest of Hansi Flick's squad. 9 clubs who will benefit from missing the 2025 Club World Cup. Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Welcome. Barcelona will look to seal the league title when they make the short trip to RCD Stadium for Thursday's derby clash against Espanyol. In fact, the Blaugrana could have the title wrapped up by the time they face their Catalan rivals, with second-placed Real Madrid needing a win against Mallorca on Wednesday to keep their faint hopes alive. Barcelona are ultimately in the driving seat after moving 7 points clear at the top of the standings with a thrilling 4-3 victory in El Clasico on Sunday. Hansi Flick's side fought back from 2 goals down to establish a 4-2 lead before the break. While Kylian Mbappé completed his hat-trick in the second period, the Blaugrana did enough to see off Real Madrid and move to the brink of a domestic treble. Here, Sports Mole rounds up Barcelona's injury and suspension news ahead of their clash with Espanyol, who are sitting in 14th position after losing 3 consecutive matches. Pau Cubarsí. Cubarsí was forced off with a stomach issue in the 57th minute of Sunday's win over Real Madrid. However, there does not appear to be too much concern about Cubarsí's physical status, and he should be available to feature in Thursday's contest. Jules Count. Count has missed 3 matches since he sustained a hamstring injury in the Champions League semi-final first leg against Inter Milan. The Frenchman remains sidelined for Thursday's fixture and faces a battle to return to action before the end of the season. Pablo Torre. Torre has been absent from the last 3 matchday squads due to a knee issue. As a result, the 22-year-old forward remains a doubt for the trip to the RCD Stadium. Marc Bernal. Bernal is continuing to work on his rehabilitation process after suffering an anterior cruciate ligament injury in August. The young midfielder is focusing on returning to action ahead of the 2025-26 campaign. Barcelona suspension list. Íñigo Martínez. Defender Martínez will serve a 1-match suspension after picking up his 5th yellow card of the league season at the weekend. Luis Suarez names the 2 Barcelona stars who are above the rest of Hansi Flick's squad. Former Barcelona star Luis Suarez has this week opened up on his admiration for the current crop of players plying their trade in the colors of the Blaugrana. This, of course, comes fresh off another evening to remember for Barcelona on Sunday. After welcoming arch-rivals Real Madrid to Catalonia's capital for a top-of-the-table La Liga showdown, Hansi Flick's troops recovered from 2 goals down, to ultimately triumph 4-3. As much all but ensures Barca's status as Spanish champions for 2024-25. Add to this previous triumphs in both the Copa del Rey and Spanish Super Cup, and the Blaugrana can celebrate a hugely successful campaign. And as alluded to above, one individual who has been left altogether impressed by such exploits on the part of his former club is Luis Suarez. Speaking during an interview with Pasión Blaugrana, as cited by Diario Sport, this week Inter Miami star Suarez raved, "I love Barcelona today. They have impressive dynamics, football and efficiency." From here, the Uruguayan highlighted 2 members of Hansi Flick's squad as being above the rest of their teammates in Catalonia at present. Barcelona have a very high level, but there are 2 players who are above average and make the difference, which are Lamine Yamal and Pedri. Suarez also made sure to reserve some special praise for Rafinha, fresh off a brace against Real Madrid on Sunday. They also have other players like Rafinha, who score at essential moments. 9 clubs who will benefit from missing the 2025 Club World Cup. Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea, Bayern Munich and PSG are among the European giants who will be competing to claim FIFA's inaugural, expanded Club World Cup in the United States this summer. But could playing in yet another tournament hinder their preparation for the 2025-26 season? Could it give an advantage to the clubs that aren't there, of which there are some massive ones? Liverpool. Harvey Elliott, Federico Chiesa and Wataru Endo have 2 Premier League starts between them this season. The flip side of that coin has been just how relentlessly Liverpool's core of Virgil van Dijk, Ryan Gravenberch and Mohamed Salah have been worked in this triumphant title-winning campaign. Next season they'll surely be required to use more depth. Arsenal. Like the champions, Arsenal will be licking their lips at the prospect of Pep Guardiola's squad jetting off to play in the heat of the Club World Cup next month. City could earn up to £100 million if they get their hands on the trophy, and they're surely among the leading contenders, but it could seriously impinge on their ability to hit the ground running in 2025-26. But if they can dust themselves off, get their injured stars back to fitness and work on integrating summer signings like Martin Zubimendi, there's no reason next season can't be their year. Manchester United. Is there any manager anywhere in the world with more work to do than Ruben Amorim right now? Manchester United sits 16th in the Premier League table. They're currently on the same points tally that Ian Holloway's Blackpool were relegated with back in 2010-11, and there are only 2 games left to play. Newcastle United. Sunday's victory over Chelsea makes it look increasingly likely that Eddie Howe's Magpies will be back in the Champions League next season. Barcelona. The treble dream is over, but Barcelona's key players have clocked up thousands of minutes between them as they've gone deep on every front this season. There's arguably no squad in world football that looks more in need of a rest than Hansi Flick's right now. The good news is that's exactly what they'll be getting. In particular, you look at 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, who has clocked up 52 appearances and over 4,000 minutes in all competitions. And thank the stars he'll be getting a much-needed few weeks off. It would be a footballing tragedy if he suffers the same injury fate that overworked Barca youngsters like Ansu Fati and Pedri have endured in their fledgling careers. Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen did remarkably well to keep their core together after last season's historic unbeaten double-winning campaign. See you on next video.